Greetings, good morning from the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area. We are fighting the tech gremlins, but here we are. Here we are. Hope everyone's doing well. We're into that part of our season now where, you know, feeling things a little physically. And we've got tournament season just around the corner. Hope everybody's doing great today. It sounds like the world is snowy out in other parts of the country. Of course, here in the beautiful San Francisco Bay Area, the weather's been, not very good. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? But not very good. Maybe a little better. Maybe a little better. Randy Wilson shows supporter. Good to see you, Randy. In the chat, I guess we got that Jack Tosh tournament coming up. Always supplies great video in Chicagoland. Got that brewing. Fantastic. Gary from Boston, good to see you. Snowy Boston. The Zooch, bright and early. Jason Hayes, the Missouri contingent, is in the house, as well as Paul Felia. Good to see you, Fig, in the chat. I think I started exactly at 7 a.m. Kudos to me. Pat on the back. Oliver, my tech angel, is helping me get things together here. We're gonna like, so something happens in your game, right? You have your clock. There's a clock malfunction, or one of the clocks isn't working, or one of the shot clocks isn't working, right? There's things we can do to allow the game to happen, and that's what we're doing today. We're going to allow the game to happen. And we will have exciting drama from Indiana where the officials did not allow the game to continue when it should have. That'll be exciting. Adam Kaufman is in the house. Go Green. Adam, we do have your backcourt play. You make the call play. What do you have on this play? We'll see. We'll see. Trudging. I have no experience with trudging through the snow to get to a game. None. Zero. Let me see if I can I extend this a little bit? Let's go there. Zooch, I cannot believe this is a fact. I cannot believe this. Let's go. How is that possible? Well, just like when a team constantly misses all their free throws, I'll turn to the bench and say, who's in charge of free throws shooting over here? So, Zooch, who is in charge of rules instruction over here? Isaac McAllister, good to see you. Okay. All right. Again, I've never had a game snowed out. First snowfall. It sounds snowy in the world, man. Appreciate that. Good morning, Ron. Good to see you. Joe, is it snowing up in Humboldt? I doubt it is. I doubt it is. Yeah. Who's going to tell him? Darwin Sonata, good to see you. Go Blue a little late. A little late, Darwin. A little late. Adam C. in the chat early. Good morning, David. Warren Layton's in the house. Don't talk to me about the Golden State Warriors. Oh, my God. But, so here's the positives out of the whole experience. I don't know what's going on with my hair over here. What's that? I DVR the game, right? I do watch almost all Warrior games, and I DVR the game. And I knew that they fell down 13-2 early. And so when I get home and we're going to watch the game, I say, let's fast forward a little bit. It was like 25-12 or something like that. Fast forward some more. I'm like, I want to find the good stuff. There was never any good stuff. So I spent about 10 minutes watching the entire game. That's the good part. That's the good part. We are sad at their performance in Memphis. Mike Goodwin is in the house. Whoa, season opener. Holy cow, 104 miles away in Alaska. Have I ever traveled 104 miles? Yes, for a collegiate game, not for a high school game, man. No way. Good morning, Chris83. Good to see you. Where's my timer? Don't I have a timer in this scene? Has it already expired? What's going on? Hold on. Okay. All right. Got nothing to say. Good morning from snowy Pinole. How are you, Stan? Oh, no, not snowy? No? Okay. So the timing of the game clock was off of an iPhone? That would be interesting. So I guess there was a post on a Facebook group about the officials wouldn't allow the game to continue because there was a scoreboard malfunction. There's, what's the important part of the equation? That the game is played, right? We can fudge things around. When we have a shot clock that's out, or let's say both clocks are out, and we're timing from an iPhone, right? What's the instruction? When we get to 15, yell 15 to the shot clock operator. When we get to 10, yell 10, right? When we get to or count down from 10, right? Whatever, right? We can make it happen. We need to have we're going to find a solution attitude. We'll find out, Adam. We'll find out. And if it was correct, the others will be green with envy. Thank you. Kevin Smith from Kentucky's in the house. Wow. Go blue. Coming after you, Adam. Billy Mack. We do have a play. We're calling it the Billy Mack play. It's a jump ball play. What do you know? What do you know? All right. Cool. All right. All right, fantastic. No snow in Wyoming. All right, fantastic. We're going to get our show going here. Hold on. Yeah, looking good for time. I still don't know where my timer went. Oh. Okay. All right. Cool. Oftentimes, this time of season, we're trudging to the game through the snow to get to that warm gymnasium. The glow is there. We're looking forward to our games, as always, on a Friday night. But today, right now, we're looking at plays. How many plays? You know it's 5 plays. Stick around. Hey, greetings. Welcome back to 5 Play Friday. I'm Greg Austin with The Better Official. We craft video to help basketball officials get better. And one of the ways we do that is we look at plays, all of the things. Let's look at play number 1. Possible backcourt on this. What do you have on play number 1? All right, backcourt ruled by our calling official. Was this call correct or incorrect? What do you have on the play? Put your ruling down in the comments below and stick around to the end of the video where we'll look at all of the things on play number 1. All right, moving on to play number 2, another backcourt play. Let's take a look. Except for live stream viewers. Hey, back at the start of the show, we had that possible backcourt ruling. Let's take a look back at play number 1. All right. Backcourt violation ruled by the calling official. This play is all about status. If we understand status on a play like this, the call is very straightforward and very easy, right? We have to understand that when a player is holding the ball in the front court with front court status and then steps into the backcourt, it is a backcourt violation by rule. Let's take a look at this play and see if we have front court status on this play, right? What is this player's status? They have jumped from the court, caught the basketball in the air, they've jumped from the backcourt, they have backcourt status. Simple, straightforward. They dribble the basketball, they have backcourt status. They pick up the basketball, land on their right foot, land on their left foot, and then they are clearly holding the basketball with front court status. If you are holding the basketball with one of your feet in the front court, you have front court status by rule. This is not a situation where a dribbler is moving from backcourt to front court and we have to have 2 feet in the basketball. That doesn't apply. This isn't a situation where a player jumps from the backcourt on a throw-in. With that situation, it doesn't apply. This player is simply holding the basketball in the front court. This is front court status. When they then replace their foot into the backcourt, a backcourt violation has occurred. Very straightforward. And obviously our coach, with a clear understanding of the rules here, knows that what? Coach doesn't know backcourt rules? Wait a minute. Come on. Can that be possible? Yes. Yes, it can. So we have a call correct here on this rule. It's unusual in that the player landed with a front foot in the front court and then stepped back. It's unusual, but the call itself, without question, accurate ruling by our calling official on the play. Hey, if you need to understand backcourt rules and restrictions, of course, we offer a free course at abetterofficial.com. Here is a link on the screen. You can brush up on your backcourt rules by taking that course, and you end up with a diploma, a certificate. Wow, that's good stuff. Okay, I go here. I go here, and I go here, and I go here. Okay. Oh, okay. Randy Wilson says incorrect. Wait. I can't hear that. Yeah, our recreation by our calling official, not exactly accurate when he moves his, like she placed her right foot and then she moved it back. She never placed her right foot, but didn't need to. So, but what are we going to do? We're doing dance steps on the court. Kevin Smith, that is not the case on this play. I hope I explained that. Looks correct indeed. I knew Zooch would say that's correct. Of course. Come on. We know the rules, man. She did lift her right foot, indeed. Yeah, that's pretty straightforward play. Did we get our throw-in spot correct? Yeah, it would be a front court throw-in at the 28-foot mark. Many officials don't do that, but is it the greatest crime in the world? Yes, yes, it is. Mike will be calling that tonight in his game in Alaska. Yes, it's true. It's true. They're really experts on backcourt rules, etc. Okay. Did I promise another backcourt call? So did the sound work on that? It should have worked. I'm doing a little. I'm doing some rigmarole here. So let me see if I can remember to do it. We've already moved on. We're looking at play number 2, also a backcourt play. Let's take a look. All right, another backcourt play. Ruled a violation. Do we have the elements for a backcourt violation on this play? This is a throw-in play. Obviously, we can't quite see that fact, but the rhythm of the game tells us so. This is a throw-in play. In order to have backcourt, a ruling of backcourt on a throw-in play, we must first have player control on the court. We must have front court status, and then we must have backcourt status, right? Those elements must be in place. This is a good example, though, on this clip where the player never has front court status with the basketball. Right? If we take a look here, this player has front court status. The ball is deflected. We have a player looking at the basketball. They pick up the basketball with their foot in the backcourt and one foot lifted. They have backcourt status, but they never had front court status. What's a key takeaway from this play is a lot of times we have plays where the player tells us, "Oh, I screwed up. I violated." A funky traveling play where they end up doing the stork thing, where they've lifted their pivot foot and they're holding the basketball, and they just capitulate and give up. Right? This player obviously tells the official, "I am guilty. I have made a mistake," etc. Right? That doesn't mean they have made a mistake or they've done something illegal. So this is incorrectly ruled. This is not a backcourt violation. And oftentimes in a play like this, I'm going to say, well, what did the other officials have? Did they have the ability to come say, hey, did we have player control on the court before back, or whatever? But both of our officials are very engaged with their primary coverage area on this play, which is always impressive. Right, we trust our official is going to be there to administer the backcourt, administer the throw in at the 28-foot line. Right, we see our center official. We can't quite see it there. Let's take a look here. Right, lead is engaged in their primary. Center's engaged in their primary. And they're doing their job. Look, they're both, neither of them is looking at the basketball. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And when something happens in the dark, we don't really have the ability to help out our crew member on this play. But a good play to look at. different than some of the throw-in plays that occur from the end line and deflects off a player and it goes into the backcourt. Biggest takeaway on this play would be don't always react to a player believing they have committed something illegal, right? Because it's not always true. Not always true. I see. Okay. Has the sound been good? Oh, Frank, I got it. I got you, baby. That, Doug says, is a nothing burger. Legal, play on. Hey, Keith, good to see you. Easy peasy. That is the key. We have to have team control established by player control before anything can happen. It is. If we have anybody FIBA, I believe once the ball is a front court throw in, they can't go into the back court. But obviously for NFHS. Oh, I appreciate the positive feedback, and I will relay that to my tech team. Yeah, I mean, sometimes we just have a brain fart as the calling official on this play. That's why if one of our other officials can come say, hey, did we have team control before, or just ask a qualifying question? But our officials were engaged in their primaries. They had no idea what was going on back there. I like it. I like it. I will not make any comments about vigilantes. I will not. Yeah, I'm here. We've moved on. We're looking at our next play. Another backcourt play. Come on. Okay, a two-person game, possible backcourt violation. The official says no, that this is legal. We are in overtime with 30 seconds remaining in the game. Obviously, we want to get this call right every time. You could say, well, the defense got the ball anyway, but this is a missed call, right? This is a clear, obvious backcourt violation. Sometimes as officials, our brain gets a little clouded related to it's a throw-in play. Some officials say, well, on a throw-in, the division line disappears, and ways to remember whether to make rulings or not. But this again, of course, is a status play. What is the status of the player on this play? We have a throw-in, 28-foot mark. We are in overtime, a one-possession game. Both teams in the bonus, right? We want to be on top of the game, get everything correct. But there's also a takeaway on this play related to positioning that's obviously critical as well. Not a factor on the play, but something as a young official you can recognize in this situation. We've got a throw-in. Okay. Is this player holding the basketball? Yes. Are they in contact with the court? In the front court? Yes. This player has front court status by rule. They are holding the basketball in the front court, foot down in the front court. They still have front court status. They have a chance here to do one of three things: pass, shoot, request a timeout, right? But in the end, they put their foot down in the backcourt. This is an obvious backcourt violation. Obvious. I don't know what the brain fart was on this play. You could say then, after the fact, that this player, travels as well. But if we had gotten this call right, then we have red with a front court throw-in at the 28-foot mark with 30 seconds remaining and a chance to win the game. Now, they ended up with a layup on this play, but we have made a mistake on this play. This is a backcourt violation by rule. Hard to explain what was going through the mind of the calling official or non-calling official on this play. But, yeah. Obviously, end of game, we want to get things right. We want to be at our best and all of the things. Now, let's look at one more thing on this play, right? If you're a young official, right? You are not a young official, right? We have a front court throw-in at the 28-foot mark. This is a two-person game. This puts a lot of pressure on our official, right? If you stand next to the thrower in this situation, who is officiating these players in the backcourt? The lead is not officiating these players in the backcourt. You have to, right? So in this instance, we need to bounce the ball to the thrower and mirror the players in the backcourt. How many times when we have a front court throw-in like this does the ball go backwards? In excess of maybe 70%. Now, right, if you move back with those players and they throw it into the corner, which there's no players on this play, we can be out of position, but we have to anticipate what's happening in the game. So that would be my counsel on that play, to have better positioning. And then we're out of position for the resulting action. And that, of course, is the risk of being tethered to the throw-in spot. If we're tethered to the throw-in spot, something blows up, goes back court, we are out of position on that play. So that's another great takeaway from the play as well. Improve your position on sideline throw-ins. Mirror the players you need to officiate next in the backcourt, and you're going to be at your best when the game demands it. I don't know, man. I don't know what we're thinking there. Joe didn't like screening action. I like this little green ad from this NFHS network game. They put this little green ad next to the scoreboard. I don't know how they do that. Well, how are you going to officiate that screen if you are handing the ball to the thrower and, like, looking into the front court? That's sort of the point there. While your first part of your statement, Rick, is a true statement, it's not a factor on the play. Throw in ending or not ending is not a factor on this play. If he had jumped from the front court, caught the ball in the air, and landed in the backcourt, that obviously is the rule's exception. Oh, he's still... Indeed. Pardon me. I am feeling much, much better. Well, whether he caught the ball with his right foot down or his left foot down makes no difference in that at this point he's holding the basketball with front court status. So there's no real jumping from the front court, back court to going to the back court involved. Yeah, tough, David, tough. What do you? I mean, the game is above the free throw line, and what are you going to do? Help out on that call from lead? Tough. Does that ever happen, Tom? Hmm. Okay. We are moving at a good pace. 3 backcourt plays. Now we've got the Billy Mack play. Billy has always insisted that we include one jump ball play every episode. Let's look at our next play. All right, great toss by our tossing official. 2 non-jumpers end up with the basketball tied up. Held ball is ruled, and the officials properly rule that those 2 players, using National Federation of High School Basketball rules, those 2 players will attempt the resulting jump ball. This rule is different probably on every single other level, but National Federation of High School, those 2 players become the jumpers. They're always surprised. Who, me? um, so we have a situation here where we have the circle that the players are on, and then we have an outer circle where there's text, etc. Understanding what the jump circle is of course important. So our umpire in this 2-person game comes in and tells the player, and then he realizes, oh wait a minute, you're not on the circle. That's awesome. That's awesome indeed. I love the toss. Great toss. Great way to step in for the one-hand toss. I'm a one-hand tosser. We love it. We love it. But our officials rule this play correctly, not a play you see all that often. If you're working with a collegiate official, they may want to do something different. Is it a big deal? No, it's not a big deal. Just like it's not a big deal that those players' shirts are just right to start the game. But that's just me. That's just me. All right, a simple jump ball play, easy ruling. Our crew got it right, and we like to get plays right. Yeah, so Rick from Montana submitted this play, and it's obvious that he steps in and says, "Oh, wait, make sure you're," and then he realizes, "Oh, wait a minute, I get it. Never mind." Does an Emily Latella on the players, and they say, "What are you talking about, ref? I have no idea what you mean." Uh, oh, yes, Billy. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. A uh, a positive for the contemporary game. It is what it is, man. Indeed. Everybody knows this play is right. We like to see plays get right. All right, we're through with the backcourt violations. Oh, we're through with the backcourt violations. We're through with jump ball minutia. One thing about the outer circle is it lets you know very clearly uh, who's a non-jumper and what the restrictions on them are. Anybody who's standing outside this larger red circle is unencumbered by restriction about their movements. She'll always remember you, Billy. She'll always remember you. That's that ref who made me jump. Oh, okay. All right, let's get on to some meatier potatoes, or meatier action here. Let's see. Okay. All right. 6 players participating on this play. Let's take a look at what happens next. I mean, I think we're going to end up with a technical foul if we've got 6 participating. Let's take a look. All right. Let's take a look. We are coming out of a timeout. We have a front court throw in and defender. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. White has 6 players participating. The crew does not notice this fact. Let's take a look. Ball is loose, and our white coach says, I'm in trouble here. I'm going to call a timeout. Did they have team control of the ball, able to call a timeout? No, they did not. We have granted the timeout. Our red coach says, hey, they've got 6 on the court, ref. Come on, that's a T. Our crew gets together and discusses the play, ends up ruling no penalty on the white team, gives them a front court throw-in, even though gives the red team a front court throw-in? I don't know what the heck's going on here. And then, obviously, we have an interaction with the coach, a very intimate interaction, and assess 2 technical fouls. Who are we giving the ball to here? Crazy, man. We have made a mistake on this play. We have not done this play very well, and we end up penalizing the coach. What are our options in this situation? Let's go back. First of all, a penalty for 6 players participating is a team technical foul on white, and that should have been assessed in this instance. That's just the bottom line. It needs to be assessed. The ruling needs to be made when discovered. When the team requests and is granted a timeout, we still are in our discovery period. Even if we haven't realized it up until this point, our coach is saying they've got 6, they've got 6. I don't think there's any case to be made that, well, we didn't notice while the ball was live, so therefore we are going to disregard. And if it was, then we need to really fall on our sword in that instance, talk the coach down, let him know our hands are tied, because that would be our ruling, if that's our ruling on the play, or some such. If we treat the coach in this fashion, and after the first technical, don't sort of allow the situation, we could have improved things a lot on this play. In the end, the penalty for 6 participating is a technical foul, a team technical on the white team in this instance. The timeout was erroneously granted. These are mistakes that we make. One thing that we can do when we look at our game video is see the engagement level of our crew. See the body language, etc. This is still a competitive game, 10-point game with 4 minutes remaining in the game. We need to be there for the game. This is the most important game of the night for these teams. Okay. Yeah, this is the most important game of the night for these teams. One of the things we can communicate is we recognize that fact. We respect that fact that this is the most important game for these teams. That's a really critical element of what we do as officials. And if our crew is lagging in energy, maybe related to the pace of the game or the energy in the gym or whatever, we have to make our own energy in that instance. That's a really critical component to officiating the game. So in the end, we did the game a disservice in this instance. Certainly sealed the fate. Yeah. White does not have the basketball there. No, they do not. Yeah. Certainly sealed the fate of the red team in this instance. Not much chance to come back after our error as the officiating crew. I'm going here. You watched this game, Mike? Oh, interesting. Yeah, yeah. He got a dose for his handling of the situation, right? So, again, if we just see the energy of our crew, no, let's go here, right? Huh. Give me a sec. Yeah. Who's counting players? Right? There's no like fundamental engagement with the game. Usually in situations where there's six on the court, there's an energy in the gym, or it comes from the coach. Somebody blurts out, "Hey, they've got six," or whatever, helping us. We're not necessarily, once the players are moving around, right? Something could seem off. Like, wait a minute, how come? You know, there's a confusion by the players in white on the court, or something that's nonverbal. Tells the officials, "Hey, wait a minute, are we screwing something up? Something's wrong. Something's wrong." You can't go wrong with that, Doug. What are we getting together to discuss, if anything other than six players participating? Are we like ignoring the fact that six just went off, and then we have to get together? Well, how many players did you have? Hard to figure out. Yeah, it can happen. Sometimes your crew lets you down. I'd say usually it's just because of habits and fundamentals, right? All the officials think, well, right. So whose job is it? It's the crew, obviously, to make sure in this situation. But what does our officials manual tell me? The U1 and the U2 are each responsible for a team. Just basics. Well, we do have a spare the air warning here in the Bay Area. Okay, so let's say this is the case. We did not observe six on the court while the ball was live. Once we grant the timeout, right? Once we grant the timeout, the ball is dead. Oh, there's six players. We've missed it. We missed our opportunity. Okay, how are we going to handle that if we're making that ruling, right? How are we handling it with that coach? Is it, you know, yeah. I mean, we're going to handle it. We have to handle it differently. We have screwed this game up. We have made a big mistake as a crew. You are offended by the play, but we're not going to give you. We're not going to penalize the opponent in this instance because some technicality in the rule. Then it's a situation where we should not end up with a technical foul in that situation unless the coach, I mean, this leash has to be given in that instance. Yeah, yeah. And sometimes as a crew, you have to make your own energy. And if you are a crew chief, right? If you are the R on the game, and you sense that your crew is like checking out, it's just like try to find something that we can do as a crew. Let's ultra emphasize eye contact on plays, etc. Let's really just work. It's preseason, man. It's rust for everybody. let's just work on our mechanics, throw in spots, not being at the division line. Where are we? I don't know. You got to find ways to fight through that because it's certainly a part. You look at the box scores and this team won 84-12 over their opponent. Ay, ay, ay. Somebody's got to officiate that game, man. Somebody's got to do it. Oh. Where the team after a player was fouled after hitting a three, and I was reporting. Oh. Well, what are you going to do, Michael? If nothing was ruled and nothing was seen, but you always have to recognize situations where we have made a mistake as a crew. We allowed this to happen and it can't be penalized now or whatever. It's a quirk in the rules. You are offended, right? We have to manage that situation and not be obstinate. Oh, you're going to object? Oh, okay, whack you. Here, I'm going to poke you in the eye. Very close to the poke in the eye here. Let's see how close it comes. Oh, he might have touched him. Oh no, that would be a disaster. Yeah. Yeah, but our crew knew that was the issue on this play. If it's during, if the teams go to their bench in this instance and nobody's the wiser, and then the players come out with 5 and the scorer says, hey, ref, you know what just happened? Then we're not to assess a technical foul. We did not observe it. But these officials were made aware of the situation. Otherwise, they're not getting together here. White called and was granted the timeout, Larry. Again, there may be a sense of this rising sense of ill ease, but we've compounded the problem. We're giving the ball to Red for the resulting throw in. It's like, hey. All right. So Billy's contention here is that our window to assess a technical foul here, based on that interpretation, here the ball is live, here the ball is live, here the ball is live. We're granting a timeout, even though White doesn't have the ball, and the Red coach is coming with information, hey, they've got 6. But since we have granted the timeout, that's Billy's contention, that is the interpretation here. Since we have granted the timeout, we can no longer assess a technical foul for 6 players participating. That seems a miscarriage and an overly we have knowledge here at this point. We have the ability to discern this fact. The fact that the ball is now dead and we have 6 players in our view, I don't think that's the purpose of that ruling. The purpose of that ruling, or her purpose, the interpretation, was, hey, ref, you know what just happened? And we had no perception. We were not aware. We couldn't verify, etc. I don't know. That would seem to be the spirit and intent of the rule. But I would listen to, but all right, so let's say that's the ruling. Let's say our crew is all on top of it and it's like, oh my gosh, coach, we've got a situation. by rule, here's the circumstance, etc. And I know this is something that we should have had, whatever. We're going to be talking to the official the coach in a much different fashion. We're going to fall on our sword. We have screwed this up. Our hands are tied. We cannot. I understand. I appreciate that fact. We need to do better, etc. Whatever, right? Instead of responding in this fashion. Oh, yeah. Well, we may see some of that in a subsequent play. Let's take a look. We've got exciting drama coming up from Indiana, the Hoosier State. All right. Final seconds in Indiana. Girls game, 2 high-level teams. Let's take a look at this play. All right, chaos reigns. All sorts of stuff going on in this scenario. We have a situation, we are in the final seconds, it's a 5-point game, right? That is all very straightforward. We have a player who shoots from the top of the arc. The officials rule a 3-point goal and score a 3-point goal very clearly. The scoreboard operator fails to note that fact and realizes or puts up 2 points. So we have an incorrect score on the board. Why black is not exhausting clock in this situation? They shoot a layup and miss. We come down. Our scoreboard is still incorrect. We've got a player shoots inside the arc. The officials clearly mark it a 2. And our scoreboard operator either maybe realizing, right? And now we've got end of game situation. Clearly a foul while the ball is live. I've superimposed a clock here to recognize the timing, but the officials disregard the foul. And at that point, apparently they immediately and directly leave the court, thinking that the game is over, right? The score should have been 30-30. The scoreboard said 30-30. Very confusing. I wish we had more video in this situation, but the bottom line is the officials left the visual confines. They are brought the scorebook. The scorebook says that, hey, ref, the score is tied, right? We need to finish this game. The officials make the determination we cannot come back out after we have left the visual confines in spite of the evidence that you are giving us. Pardon me. So many things at issue here, right? The key question here is, if the scoreboard says 30-30, how can we leave the floor? Even if we think, wait, the scoreboard's wrong, right? How can we leave the floor? We've got to go to the scorer and take care of business. Now, last year, not this year, last year, end of game scenarios was a point of emphasis. We have to communicate with our scorer if there's any whiff of something being inaccurate. We can't leave the game in this situation. Oftentimes, officials are eager to run away from the game at the end of the game because I don't want to be, that's just a habit and fundamental that I want to build in. We don't want to stick around and have to penalize any action or whatever. If there's any doubt about what the score is, we have to solve that puzzle. We have to go and solve that situation. That's our responsibility to the game. Apparently now this game will be replayed from overtime will be played. These teams will have to get together. They'll have to travel. They'll have to play overtime. That's a weird scenario, man. Let's all show up for 4 minutes of action. But that is obviously the right thing to do. This was a game where the score was tied at the end of regulation. We also passed on that foul thinking that it would have no impact on the game. Not something that we want in our game. We have to make this ruling on this foul with 1.4, right? This is a team that feels that they're down, last chance to win, etc. Yeah. So how we handle end of game situations is obviously critical. We owe it to the game. To do any sort of forensic stuff we have to do after the fact, we have to go to the scorer and we have to find out what exactly is the score of the game. There was a misunderstanding and what have you. The scoreboard, we always have to remember, is not the score of the game. The score of the game is what the scorer has in the scorebook. Yeah. We've got to do this. We have to do this for the game. What are we going to say about this scenario? Man. So I will tell you that the timeout, the last timeout of the game, our tableside official who administered the timeout was basically shooting the shit with the announcer, right? Not the scorer. There's no verification of the book. There's no communication. Hey, do our two books match up, etc. There was no get together by the crew, etc. Now, all that being said, the last minute was played without stoppage, right? It wasn't a situation where we didn't know how many timeouts or we didn't know this or that and the other thing. So, but all right. Come on, man. I will tell you, Frank, I could not care less. I could not care less. I mean, if they want to drape it in front of them, hell, yeah. Yeah. So the question is, should the officials have come out? They are in the locker room. They are presented with the evidence. Here's the scorebook, ref. Here's what happened. There was a 3-point goal and a 2-point goal, and the scoreboard operator. Is there any guidance at all that says, hey, if the officials are presented with the right evidence, that they should come out? No, there's not. Once they've left the visual confines, their hands are really tied. And to step back out onto the court would be really putting ourselves in a position of having no rule support. It could be the common sense thing to do, but from the officials being in the locker room, I really want to know what happened between the final horn and them leaving the visual confines. Was anybody like grabbing their shirts and saying, come back, come back? Was our scorer jumping up and down? These are all questions. Did our officials turn to the scorer and say, is the score correct? And then leave the visual confines? No. If we don't do those things, we are certainly at risk. Yeah, that would have opened another can of worms. Uh, uh, it's it's chaos, man. Uh, that's a scene, man. So you could say, well, why did our scoreboard operator think that that first 3-pointer was actually a two? Why on earth, indeed? Does our 3-point our trail official have a great look here? You know, it's obviously a worsening look. There's no energy to improve the look, but they're going to rule this a three. Yeah, you could certainly make the case if we had better video, different angle, that the toe touched the line. Obviously, our scoreboard operator thought that that was the case, ignored the official signal. Yeah. Yeah, Doug. It was a point of emphasis. It was a point of emphasis. And it talked about really remedial stuff. And after the game, go to the scorer, right? So, you know, what are you going to do? It's the end of game scenario. What's our best practices, right? As officials, is make sure the scorebooks match. Make sure the visiting book and the home book match, that there's no discrepancy. You know, like at our last opportunity, at the 2-minute mark, at the 1:30 mark, at the 1-minute mark, etc. It's an end of game, they match. Okay, all right, this team has 0 timeouts, this team has 1 timeout, team fouls on the board. The scoreboard is an accurate reflection of the scorebook. We have to verify that fact. We can't have a discrepancy. It says 4 team fouls, it should really 3 teams fouls, or whatever, right? We verify that, right? The scorebooks match. The scoreboard is an accurate reflection. Now we are armed as a crew. We go, the game is played, etc. At the end of the game, if we turn to the scorer, we say, or we may say to the scorer, hey, at the end of the game, I'm going to give you a thumbs up. If everything's cool, give me one back. If it's not cool, jump up and down and make a scene, right? Don't let us leave without, right? It's just basic stuff that we communicate with scorers in this situation. The game ends, right? We're like, this game is over. Why would we think this game is over? It says 30-30 on the scoreboard, right? Immediately our antennas should go up. Wait a minute. What's the situation here? Go to our scorer, confirm. I mean, obviously, it's easy 2020 hindsight after the fact, but these are just basic fundamental things that we need to do to ensure that the right team wins the game and that we are not hurting either team. Yeah. Well, again, we don't know what happens at the end of this situation, right? Does our crew immediately just sprint to the locker room and like, la, 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 I don't know. I don't know. How can we know? There's just no evidence. I just heard myself doing my la la la. But if there's any sort of energy, like let's watch what happens at the end of the game, right? People are coming towards the officials. Right? We see our coach in red here is been informed by the scorer what the actual score is. Right? You can see that that's what's occurring here. Like, was that a 3? Is that a 2? Oh, so we got to assess a T for being at the table. And immediately the coach goes to the official. The coach is going to the official with information, right? We can't run away from that fact. We just can't. We have to go verify what's going on in the game. We assume maybe a horn's sounding. We don't know. Now, I could understand why our crew was somewhat confused about time and score. You can understand. It's just like, wait, you only put up 2 for a 3-point goal. I indicate, like, I'm the center. I indicated a 3-point goal. We do need to be aware. It's a swallow the whistle scenario, right? Thinking that the game was tied. But if we think the game is tied, how can we ultimately leave the court? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Yeah. So, that, you could say that that's another issue in this scenario. It's like, how are we going to leave the court as a crew? Some officials like to say, this game is over. We want to limit our liability. I don't want to officiate anything that happens. This player went to the opposing section and taunted the crowd. I don't want to have to officiate that. The coach is upset. He's yelling. I don't want to have to officiate that. I want to run away from that scenario, right? And there's certainly evidence where we want to make a hasty exit. The game has been decided. We want to make a hasty exit. Hasty is at your discretion, right? Are we sprinting away? Are we moving quickly? Purposeful movement, etc. But we have to have our antennas up at just any whiff of issue with the score of the game, right? We cannot run away from that. We cannot run away from that. The bottom line is this overtime will be played. That was the determination made by the state, that overtime will be played in this instance. The scorekeeper cannot overrule the official indicating a 3, but who made the mistake? Was it the scorekeeper? No, it was the scoreboard operator. Oh, interesting. I'm with you, Jacob. We want to exit as a crew. We want to move purposefully. That's my approach as well. The crew did not leave the confines, re-enter the visual confines, and I don't think they should have. That's why, once you leave, you have no license to come back. There's nothing by rule that says you are allowed to come back. By rule, right? So by rule, in this instance, the official's jurisdiction on the game ends when they leave the visual confines. They still have some jurisdiction in terms of reporting, etc., after the fact, information providing, etc. But their ability to officiate the game by rule has ended when they leave the visual confines. And you could say, but common sense says you have to go back in this situation. I'm showing you the scorebook. And the scorebook says 30-30. The other scorebook says the same thing. You've made a mistake. We've made a mistake. All of us have made a mistake. We need to keep playing this game. And I can understand, well, common sense says we have to go back. But can we by rule? It's a challenging situation. Interesting situation to think through, right? I'm creating liability for myself and my crew by going against the rules and going back. Does that overridden by the fact that this game, we have made a mistake and this game needs to continue? Tough scenario. C never signaled a three-point shot. On the first one he did. Right? Right here. These two officials both signal a three. A two goes up on the board. Chaos ensues. That is really, you have cut through everything, Jason. That is really the most important question that's raised in this scenario. Hey, Al. I hope all is well. Let's take a look here. Yeah, nobody... Huh? Yeah. It was probably a two. Yeah.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Oh. I got my sound effects working. I think the sound I've achieved effectiveness again with the sound. Well, here, do it again, but do it with Strother.
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
Well, here's the deal, Kevin. If you are an older guy, there's things that you remember about Cool Hand Luke that you watched in your youth. There's things. Okay, cool. All right. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. We've got one more play for live stream viewers. Let me just verify that fact. Yeah, let's go. Let's go.
Wolbert inbound for the Arrows. Looking for an open man. There's Quist underneath. His shot is up and good. And I think we're going to have a technical on Landon Quist, running his mouth a little bit there to Cash Decker after the basket. He wanted them to call a foul on Decker.
And I think that is his fifth.
That'll be Landon Quist's fifth foul. He'll fall out of the game on a technical.
All right, Chris Janish gives us a textbook example of officiating this taunting action by our player. We have a player who points at their opponent and verbalizes something towards their opponent, right? A perfect combination, right? That is a technical foul for taunting. NFHS does not appreciate taunting and wants it to be penalized. And then our crew gets together. Even though it's the simplest of all the technical fouls, it's a player technical. The other team, any player or eligible substitute is going to shoot, and then we're going to take the ball at the division line. But habits and fundamentals, slowly calling official down, communicate, right? Especially if you've got officials who work other levels, right? They may be a collegiate official as well. Let's just make sure we're doing high school rules and procedures in this instance. always a great idea. This is not like, oh, I have to talk the official off the ledge. They're really emotional or whatever. It's just business, man. But great habits and fundamentals are to just slow the official down. What do you got? I got a technical foul on white 23. Any player eligible substitute shoot 2. Division line throw in opposite the table. Yeah, easy peasy. Easy peasy. Nothing to it. We like to see habits and fundamentals. We want them in our game. We want to execute, right? 4 minutes to go in a close game, right? But that's an action that needs to be penalized. Taunting, not supported at all in National Federation of High School basketball rules. And I would not be taunting if I said, I appreciate you sticking around to the end of the video. Many thanks to our tremendous show supporters. And of course, for you, we've got additional video action coming up. Make a choice, choose wisely, and we'll see you in the very next video. Take care, everybody. Oh, nice insertion of the wrap-up there. I don't know, man. I don't know. Oh, I'm here. If they were to come back, if the book was presented, hey, coach, ref, it's 30-30. That's the bottom line. And then we're going to go back and we're going to play overtime. And we're going to penalize that foul with 1.4 seconds and put 1.4 on the clock. No. Not going to do that. Ah, interesting. Interesting. Wow. Is that a good thing, Al? That puts a lot more pressure on the officials, right? I'm going to assess a flagrant technical on a player. They're going to miss future games just because they put, if we just make it a player technical, it's so much easier to officiate. Then we don't have to consider, what's the impact, the ramifications of assessing a flagrant technical. Thanks, Chris. Hey, Kamali, good to see you in the chat there. I'm feeling better. There's a few remnants, but my energy level is definitely up. Thank you. Uh-oh. We've got Michigan on Michigan action in the chat. Ugh. Yeah, so for me, right? That's yours or whatever. Our player barks something at their smaller opponent on the play or and one, then we're getting to a borderline. But if you throw the gesture in with the language, for me, the multiple elements make things easier. Oh, good. Al says it's in the official's manual, page 33. It could be. All right. Okay, I think we are done for the week. Thanks for everybody for submitting plays. Thanks for sticking around. I had a good time today. I think my daughter might be here. She's flown in from Dallas. So I'm going to say goodbye. I hope everybody has a great week of action. Still preseason. We're shaking the rust off. Got to recognize that fact, man. We're shaking the rust off. We're getting our heads straight. We're tightening up our habits and fundamentals. So, Indeed. That's flagrant. All right. Awesome. All right. I'm going to let you go. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you next week.